The courtroom lights flickered like something out of a disaster movie, and for a split second, everyone inside swore they felt the ground shake. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could prepare the world for what happened next. New footage that was never supposed to see the light of day, just leaked, and it shows Lil Durk being attacked in court in a moment so explosive, so chaotic, so downright unbelievable, that social media is melting down in real time. People are calling it the most shocking courtroom incident in hip-hop history. Reporters are scrambling. Judges are panicking. The FBI is allegedly reviewing the tape, frame by frame, because what unfolded in that tiny federal courtroom has sparked a national storm that no one can control. In this newly leaked clip, you can hear the gasp from the gallery before you even see the movement. Someone lunges fast, violent, and screaming something that the audio barely catches. Security erupts. Papers fly. Durk jerks backward. The judge shouts. A marshal reaches for his weapon. And for 7 whole seconds, the courtroom becomes a battlefield. 7 seconds that feel like 7 lifetimes. 7 seconds that now threaten to destroy everything the prosecution, the defense, and the entire justice system has built around this case. And here's the craziest part. Insiders are already claiming this attack wasn't random, that it was planned, or staged, or even worse, set up by someone inside the courthouse, and that the real truth behind this footage might flip the entire case upside down. The clip starts like any other grainy courtroom angle, but the longer you stare, the more your stomach drops, because this is not just some random outburst. This looks like a full-blown setup happening in real time. The camera is pointed at Lil Durk, shackled at the defense table, eyes locked on the judge, when suddenly, from the far left side of the frame, a figure in a gray hoodie stands up from the gallery and moves with this weird, determined calm. No one reacts at first. It's like they're invisible. Then, in a split second, the person lunges toward Durk with both hands out, and the entire room explodes into chaos. Chairs scrape, people scream, a marshal dives forward, and you can hear somebody yelling, "Get down! Get down!" as Durk jerks back so hard his chair flips. The footage is so shaky you would think it's fake if it didn't match everything insiders have been whispering for weeks. Remember, this is supposed to be a locked-down federal courtroom in one of the most high-profile cases in hip-hop history, and yet somehow, someone got close enough to make a move on a world-famous rapper in front of a judge, prosecutors, and federal marshals. How does that even happen unless somebody on the inside messed up or wanted it to happen? Within minutes of the clip dropping online, X, Instagram, and TikTok turn into a war zone. Hashtags like Free Durk, They Set Durk Up, and Courtroom Inside Job are trending worldwide. Fan pages are slowing down from traffic. Comments are coming in so fast, you can literally watch the numbers jump in real time. People are screen recording, zooming in, playing the footage frame by frame like it's the Zapruder film. Circling every shadow and movement, trying to figure out who the attacker is, who looked at who, and why one of the marshals seems like he reacts a split second too late. Then another bomb drops. A so-called anonymous court employee slides into a small YouTuber's DMs and claims this is not the first time security around Durk has mysteriously failed. They say there were 2 other incidents that never made it into the official record. A microphone left live during a sidebar. A door to a secure hallway left unlocked. A whispered argument between a prosecutor and a marshal about losing control of the room. None of this is confirmed, but the screenshots of the DMs leak anyway, and suddenly everyone swears they know exactly what's going on. Somebody wants Durk vulnerable, either to scare him into a plea or to send a message. Meanwhile, blogs are posting exclusive audio they claim was captured inside the courthouse, moments after the attack. You can hear someone, allegedly one of Durk's lawyers, shouting, "This is on you, you were warned," over the sound of shuffling and heavy breathing. Another voice, calmer, colder, says, "We told you this would happen if you kept pushing." The clip is only 10 seconds long. The quality is trash, but that doesn't stop it from racking up millions of views in under an hour. Was that a threat? A warning? A confession? Nobody knows, but nobody cares either, because the narrative has already spun out of control. Then an even more insane theory starts to take over the timeline. What if the attack wasn't from an outsider at all? What if it was staged? Not by Durk, but by the people trying to bury him. A viral thread breaks down how the attacker never actually lands a clean hit on Durk, how the cameras just happen to be pointing at the perfect angle, how the marshal closest to the assailant moves a fraction of a second too slow. The thread points out a strange detail in the leaked clip. When the attacker is tackled to the ground, their hoodie rides up, and you can see what looks like a badge clipped to their waistband. That still frame gets reposted hundreds of thousands of times. Some users are convinced it's a federal ID. Others swear it's just a belt buckle. Conspiracy channels pop up overnight with names like Courtroom Truths and Durk Case Decoded, uploading 20-minute breakdowns with dramatic music and red arrows pointing at blurry pixels. A supposed former marshal calls into a late-night Twitter space and claims that courtroom cameras don't usually record from that angle unless somebody manually switches the feed. That means someone chose to focus on Durk right before the chaos started, as if they knew something was coming. While the internet is eating itself alive, mainstream outlets finally jump in, pretending like they aren't late to the party. Cable news anchors use words like disturbing, unprecedented, and deeply alarming, while carefully reminding viewers that everything is still alleged and under review. But behind the scenes, a different story is brewing. A leaked email, allegedly from a staffer in the courthouse, starts circulating in group chats and private Discord servers. In it, the staffer claims that the judge had requested a closed-door status conference after credible threats were made against courthouse officials, and that this incident might be connected. If that email is real, it means two things. 1. The court knew tensions around this case were out of control. And 2. If they knew, then how did anyone get close enough to make a move on a defendant live in session? Either security is completely incompetent, or this whole thing is way darker than anyone understands. Fans start posting side-by-side screenshots of the leaked footage and old clips of Durk performing on stage, talking about how the same system that cheered him when he was selling out arenas is now letting him get rushed in front of a federal judge. But then, just when the internet thinks it has the story figured out, everything flips again. A brand new angle of the footage leaks, from a camera no one even knew existed. In this second angle, the audio is clearer, the pictures sharper, and the details way more damning. You see the attacker's face for a split second before they're slammed to the floor. And that frame alone sends the internet into meltdown. People start tagging blogs and rappers, claiming they recognize the person from old backstage clips. One fan page posts a side-by-side of the attacker and a man seen in photos near Durk years ago, with the same chain and the same tattoos. Within minutes, former security starts popping up in comment sections. Then someone leaks an old Instagram story, allegedly from that same man, where he rants about being cut off and left behind after holding people down. Now the narrative flips again. Was this an ex-associate trying to get revenge? Was he planted there by somebody else? And that's when the wildest leak of the night drops. A short, muffled audio that sounds like it was recorded under a jacket, with a voice whispering, "They told me, do it in front of the judge so everybody gets the message." The voice laughs nervously, then adds 4 words that freeze everyone listening. And in that moment, everything changes for Durk. You know who sent it. The room is still shaking from the echo of those 4 words when the second wave of leaks hits the internet like a meteor. Because suddenly, out of nowhere, a series of screenshots begins circulating, allegedly taken from a private group chat between 3 courthouse employees and someone only labeled as M. The messages look frantic, rushed, as if they were sent while something chaotic was happening just feet away. One of them reads, "They said let it play out. Don't interfere unless he gets too close." Another says, "This is going to blow up. Why are we doing this?" And then the most damning one of all. The moment he stands up, switch the camera, judge wants a clean angle. Just that one message sends shockwaves through the timeline. Because if it's real, and people are treating it like gospel, then the judge didn't just know something was coming, she wanted it caught on tape. Now the internet is convinced this was never about courtroom security breaking down. This was about someone wanting the world to see Lil Durk in danger. Someone wanting the footage to leak. Someone trying to destroy him before he even sees a jury. Conspiracy threads multiply like wildfire. A viral post zooms in on the judge's expression right before the attacker makes his move. For less than a second, she glances to the left, straight toward the person who stands up moments later. Some users slow it down and swear she nods. Others insist it's just a glitch in the camera. But the debate only fuels the hysteria. Then a whistleblower-style audio file drops, this time claiming to come from a courthouse custodian who overheard two federal agents arguing near the stairwell. The recording is muffled and chaotic, but the words are unmistakable. "I told you this would explode. We never should have let him get that close." Then another voice snaps back, "We needed leverage, now we have it." The clip ends with someone slamming a door and muttering, "They'll think it's his people." They always do. That line turns the internet into a battlefield. Rap blogs start posting think pieces about institutional bias. Stan accounts start making threads connecting every time the justice system used violence, real or manufactured, to push a narrative. Old interviews of Durk talking about fighting against the system go viral again, racking up millions of views overnight. Meanwhile, a brand new twist emerges when a self-proclaimed insider posts a blurry photo of what looks like a printed memo from the prosecutor's office. The memo allegedly warns that defendant supporters may attempt disruption during proceedings. But here's the plot twist. The memo is dated 6 days before the attack. So now people are asking how prosecutors predicted something this specific, unless they were pulling strings themselves. The hashtag #ProsecutorCanoe starts trending. And a clip of Durk's lawyer walking into court with a dead serious expression becomes the meme of the night. Captioned, "He knows something we don't." But things get even crazier when rappers start chiming in. Streamer rappers go live instantly. A major Chicago artist drops a cryptic story saying, "They tried this same play on me back in 2019, stay woke." A drill legend posts a clip of himself pacing in his kitchen saying, "Ain't no way, this ain't an inside move. Durk been telling y'all." Even rivals are weighing in, some fake supportive, some low-key instigating. One of Durk's former collaborators, who hasn't been seen publicly with him in years, tweets, "Been told him watch the suits, not the streets." That tweet alone gets nearly 1 million impressions in an hour, spawning theories, accusation threads, and 20-minute breakdown videos. Then, the most shocking twist of the entire night drops. An anonymous Twitter account posts a 14-second voice note, allegedly recorded just minutes after the attack. In it, someone who sounds like a shaken courtroom staffer whispers, "They're saying the attacker was let through security with no check. They waved him in. They waved him in." Another voice cuts in, trembling, "Someone high up greenlit this. This ain't random." That voice note spreads so fast that Twitter temporarily rate limits the thread. At the same time, another camera angle leaks, this time from the hallway outside the courtroom. In it, you see the attacker being dragged out by 2 marshals. But for 3 horrifying seconds, the attacker twists toward the camera and screams something that chills viewers to the bone. "I did what you told me. I did what you told me." The marshals slam him against the wall. But it's too late. The words are clear, desperate, and unmistakable. Within minutes, freeze frames are everywhere. People are lip-reading. Linguists are analyzing the yell. Commentators are breaking down the attacker's tone, as if it's a psychological profile. Users start identifying every person in the hallway, circling faces, connecting dots, claiming one of the marshals looks familiar from a viral clip where he escorted a famous record exec into the courthouse earlier that year. Then someone leaks a single still frame from the attacker's interrogation room. The attacker sits hunched over, face bruised, eyes glazed, and behind him, barely visible in the reflection of a metal table, is a shadowy figure wearing a suit. The internet decides instantly. That's the person who sent it. Whether it's real or not doesn't matter. The narrative is alive. At 2:17 a.m., an account claiming to be a courthouse intern posts, "There's a secret hearing scheduled for tomorrow. Something went wrong. They're scrambling." Minutes later, that account disappears, suspended, gone without a trace. But screenshots live forever, and people repost them like wildfire. And then the night twists again when cybersleuths decode a disturbing pattern. Every time someone leaks info about the attack, they vanish from the internet within hours. By dawn, the entire world is convinced of one thing. This attack wasn't just a random outburst, it was a warning, a message, a move in a much bigger game. And just when the story reaches its boiling point, another leak erupts, this time from deep inside the defense team that reveals a truth so explosive, so unbelievably damaging, it threatens to flip the entire case upside down and drag everyone involved into a scandal unlike anything the hip-hop world has ever seen. Because according to this new leak, Lil Durk wasn't the only target in that courtroom. He was Plan A. But there was a Plan B. And the person listed as Plan B is someone no one ever expected. The leak spreads in total silence at first, no watermark, no username, no caption. Just a single PDF file titled Contingency Outline. But within minutes, the internet realizes exactly what it is. A blueprint. A strategy. A secret operations memo that should never have existed. And on page 3, highlighted in red, under a header that looks like it belongs in a spy novel, sits the line that detonates the entire world. If Plan A fails, proceed with Plan B. Create a high-intensity disruption targeting secondary subject. Under that, in bold, is a name so shocking it sends shockwaves through the hip-hop community. It's not a prosecutor, not a marshal, not even one of Durk's co-defendants. It's the judge. Judge Michael Fitzgerald, the same judge overseeing Durk's pre-trial hearings, the same judge who has been publicly claiming impartiality, the same judge who has denied repeated bail requests, while insisting the case must proceed without interference. According to the leaked memo, the judge was listed as the secondary target in the event Plan A didn't unfold as intended. And suddenly the narrative flips again because if the attacker was supposed to strike twice, and the courtroom chaos cut him off before he reached that point, what does that mean? Who set up a scenario where a federal judge was supposed to be endangered? Within seconds, legal commentators, conspiracy theorists, rap bloggers, fan accounts, and even celebrities begin blasting theories. Some say the memo must be fake. Others say only insiders could have written something with this level of detail, formatting, and procedural language. But the more people analyze it, the more it begins to look real, disturbingly real. And that's when the defense team's anonymous source steps forward with yet another leak, a recorded conversation between two courthouse administrators, captured on a phone hidden inside a stack of folders. You hear one whisper, panicked, "If this gets out, it's over for all of us." The other hisses back, "They wanted leverage. Now it's a liability." Papers rustle. A door creaks. Then one sentence sends tremors through the entire internet. The judge wasn't supposed to be in danger. It wasn't part of the real plan. The real plan. Those words ignite the biggest meltdown yet. Thousands of threads appear instantly, trying to decode what that means. Was the attack orchestrated to frame Durk? To justify an anonymous jury? To push the defense toward a plea? Or was someone trying to force the judge into recusing himself, creating grounds for a mistrial? Fan investigators start matching courthouse schedules with staff rotation logs, noting that on the day of the attack, 2 security officers were reassigned at the last minute. One never showed up. Another left early. Were they told to stand down? Or were they replaced by someone who shouldn't have been there? Then a new bombshell erupts, a clip from a surveillance camera inside a courthouse elevator. 4 men in suits enter the lift. They look tense, rushed. The moment the doors close, one of them mutters, "The footage came out too early. Someone jumped the timeline." Another replies, "If he talks, we all go down. We were supposed to lock down the feed." The third man cuts in sharply, "None of this matters now. Everyone will think it was gang retaliation. That was the point. The fourth man, the quietest, the calmest, whispers something that makes the others stare in horror. "You don't understand." He wasn't bluffing. He said he had evidence that ties us to the threats. Evidence. Threats. Ties. It all pours gasoline on the already blazing fire. Fans start pulling up court documents, matching dates, comparing signatures, tracking sealed filings. TikTok detectives create side-by-side timelines showing how the death threats, the camera angles, and the courtroom chaos are all connected. Someone finds a document revealing that motions were filed behind closed doors mere hours before the attack, motions nobody knew existed. What were they about? Why were they sealed? And why did the attack conveniently erupt 1 minute before the hearing was supposed to begin? Then, in the middle of the frenzy, one more leak detonates the most chilling one yet. A 3-second snippet of body cam audio from a marshal who tackled the attacker. It's barely audible under the chaos, but when cleaned up and amplified by cybersleuths, the whisper becomes clear. "You were supposed to stop at him. Why were you moving toward the bench?" That question breaks the narrative open like a cracked skull. Because if the marshal knew the attacker's instructions, then this wasn't just a failure of security, this was coordination. Someone gave orders. Someone expected a specific sequence. Someone wanted the drama. Someone wanted the fear. By now, celebrities can't stay silent. A-list rappers go live from their penthouses, shouting that this is proof the system is rotten. Former collaborators call out the government. Athletes weigh in. Even pop stars who never speak on legal cases start tweeting cryptic warnings about corruption. One mega-famous rapper posts a black screen with the caption, "This is why they wanted him gone." Millions repost it instantly. Meanwhile, social media erupts in full-scale war. Some insist Durk is being targeted by a shadow network trying to manipulate his case. Others believe someone inside the courtroom wanted the judge removed. A new faction claims the entire attack was orchestrated to sabotage an upcoming ruling that could have shifted the balance in Durk's favor. But the most unhinged theory, the one that starts picking up speed faster than anything else, is this. The attacker wasn't acting alone. And he wasn't the only infiltrator in that room. A freeze frame from yet another leaked hallway camera angle shows a second figure, someone who leaves through a back door just seconds after the chaos begins. They aren't in panic. They aren't fleeing. They walk calmly, purposefully, as if their role is complete. And on their shoulder, a small, nearly invisible mic pack, the kind used for covert communication. Where does that door lead? Who was waiting on the other side? Why wasn't this person detained or questioned? Nobody knows. But as people dig deeper, a final revelation surfaces, one that ties every loose thread together. Another leaked internal note, allegedly from a federal clerk, reads, "All personnel involved in the November 18 incident are to report for review. Do not discuss the matter publicly. Media not aware of full context. Maintain the narrative." Maintain the narrative. Those 3 words hit harder than anything all night. Because if there's a narrative that must be maintained, then the official story is a lie. And if the official story is a lie, then someone is controlling the truth. Someone is shaping public perception. Someone is pulling strings behind closed doors. And that's when the final shock drops, an unverified but explosive rumor claiming that the attacker was offered a deal, immunity, relocation, and protection, in exchange for pinning the entire incident on Lil Durk's associates. Fans panic, the industry erupts, the courthouse goes silent. Because suddenly it's clear. This wasn't an attack. This wasn't a disruption. This was a message for Durk, for the judge, for the industry, for the public. A staged act of controlled chaos meant to push the case in a direction someone desperately needs. And now the world waits breathless, divided, consumed, because the next move in this deadly game could decide everything. Durk's fate, the judge's future, and the truth behind the most shocking courtroom scandal hip-hop has ever seen. This is the moment everything changes, because if you've made it this far, if you've followed every twist, every leak, every betrayal, every whispered threat behind those courthouse doors, then you already know this story is nowhere near finished. What happens next could flip the entire justice system on its head, expose corruption at the deepest levels, and rewrite the fate of one of the biggest artists of our generation. And the truth is, you cannot afford to miss a single update. Not one. Not when the next leak could drop at any second. Not when insiders are already hinting that even bigger revelations are coming. Not when the people pulling the strings are clearly terrified the public might finally see what's really going on. So here's what you need to do right now, before this video gets buried, before clips start disappearing, before accounts get suspended, and the story gets revised by people who don't want you to know the truth. Hit that like button so this story reaches everyone they're trying to keep in the dark. Drop a comment with your thoughts, your theories, your predictions, because trust me, someone out there is watching the reaction, and your voice matters more than you think. And most importantly, subscribe with notifications on. Not tomorrow, not later, right now. Because the next part of this investigation is already unraveling, and when it drops, it's going to hit harder than anything you've seen so far. This isn't just news. This isn't just drama. This is history unfolding in real time. Don't fall behind. Don't get left out. Don't let them decide what you get to know. Be here, stay alert, and be ready for what comes next.